Cheers. Welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. Yes, we are drinking a Vienna lager, fermented as an ale, by My Brew Supply. And Robert.
Robert.
And I'll put his new address down below too, because they moved, but they're in Ohio. It's a homebrew supply, and they do online orders too. But he was great enough to send me the earlier kit we did. Now we did this kit, and now we're doing the taste testing for the final kit. I know you can't see because it's got a little bit of a darkness to it, but super clear for a darker lager type beer. And you could brew it as a lager. Plus, I modified this recipe, which I pointed out in the brew thing, that you can say, hey, Robert, I want this, but I want extra Saz, or I want this, or I want that, or how would you change it up? So I used his Czech Saz, which are the better ones. Sorry, US. But as my finishing hops right at the very end of the boil, and I used some American Saz earlier in the boil to get the right IBUs.
IBUs,
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all Saz. And I did overcarbonate a tad bit, but I mean, it's got some
Still looks
great
nice.
head retention, nice foam right on the top. It's very pretty, very, very pretty. Has mild, maybe caramel or toffee smell. Very, very, very mild.
Yeah.
It's hard to smell it through the foam.
What I'd expect from a lager like this, yeah.
Oh, and I didn't tell you, I was playing with my fermentation temps, and I started to ramp them up, and it and another beer actually fermented lower than what I expected them to ferment it. They went down to 1.008, which is very unusual for my beers. I don't know why. And I double checked it with two different hydrometer, 1.008. So we're sitting at 6.8% on a Vienna.
Whoa.
A Vienna lager ale.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm not gonna say it's strong, but for that style, it's probably exceeding the lines.
I would say it's probably strong for that style.
Plus, I think I had really high efficiencies on top of that, you know, contributed on both ends. It's very mild.
It's mild, it's nice.
It's got hints of, I want to say toffee or caramel. I smell toffee. I taste what I feel like is a mild, very light caramel, which is common with Vienna, because Vienna is a slightly cooked, or I can't remember, toasted malt to a degree. I can't remember how they kindle in it.
I think I lean towards toffee more than caramel, actually.
Yeah, the toffee is more on the nose and the flavor. Subtle hints of caramel in my mind, but
Yeah, definitely toffee.
I
can understand the caramel, but I think toffee.
Yeah. I don't get the Saz, and I think it's because of the toffee and caramel and that froth.
There's a nice hoppiness to it.
I taste something, but it's very mild.
It's very mild, yeah.
Very
That's kind
mild.
of what I expect.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. I love Saz, so sorry. Just, you know, smack me in the face for Saz and I'd be happy. Only it's Czech Saz, just saying. But
It's very light, like mouthfeel to it.
yeah, it's got a very light mouthfeel, and that might be because I had very high gravity. I did mash at his recommended temp, which I believe was 150 or 152. I don't recall. I will say I did have a sip of something else earlier, so I might not be getting all the flavor here. But this would be, even at 6.8%, if you didn't know it was 6.8%, it'd be a good start beer for the night or for evening dinner. Would complement a lot of foods.
Could just take you throughout the whole night, honestly. It's very solid.
Yeah, very,
nice.
very smooth. Does not taste like 6.8, but it does taste a little heavier than maybe a really light beer. Got a little bit more going on, we'll say.
I can taste the hops, and it's nice. Even if you can't get a whole lot of it, it's kind of
I get something, it's just,
throughout
I
for
can't
me.
tell where the malt ends and the hop starts.
fair.
I get a hint of spice, which is usually from Saz, but just very hint. I know Saz more in the very light European pale ales, where they're super light and have almost nothing but Pilsner. I think the problem is when you add Vienna, you add a layer of complexity, which is just that. It makes things a little more complex and a little harder to pick each item out, kind of like listening to a band that's so tight you can't always pick out, you know, where they might be, because I know people who can do that. I can kind of tell you how the band was laid out on the stage when they were listening to the music. Kind of weird, but hey. Appreciate you. Cheers. Like I said, if you're in Ohio, or if you're not, you just want to go check out his website, I'm going to leave a link down below. But check out Robert, My Brew Supply. Yeah, and the whole point of this beer was that you can say, hey, Robert, I like this kit, but can we modify it a bit? And if you're not sure what you want to do, he might be able to give you some great input and ask you what you like. And if you tell him what you like, he might know how to kind of kick it up a notch and, you know, add some things in there that you can throw into your brew. Cheers. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.